your life should be falling apart. Now, when I say this, I'm not trying to give you an excuse for why your life sucks, or to tell you that it's okay that it does. I'm simply stating a natural law of the universe. Entropy roughly means gradual decline into disorder. Systems naturally tend toward chaos, and to maintain order, work is required. This means that order is not the default state. Chaos is. Entropy itself comes as the default state in our universe. Everything is plodding on towards its inevitable destruction. Every single system that we can observe obeys this law. The dam that the beaver builds will eventually be washed away by the river. The river itself will level the land from which it flows and cease to exist. The sun itself, the reason we have life on this planet, will eventually run out of fuel. It will become a giant frozen sphere floating through space. All of the stars, galaxies and planets, all of our dreams, hopes and projects, they are simply temporary islands of order in the inescapable slide toward maximum chaos, let's call it. You see, we have this underlying belief surrounding entropy, or in a sense, a lack of belief in the concept of entropy itself. This is because our default state is to assume that things should be working out, and if they're not, then that means that something is fundamentally wrong. We have been unconsciously sold the idea that nature knows best, and if you are doing something that's aligned with your values and with your dreams, then things should simply be flowing and working out properly, without that much effort. If you are on the right path, then there should be little to no resistance presented to you, thus meaning that you are aligned with life. But this logic just doesn't hold up. When the universe itself tells us that things tend toward chaos, why would we try to assume that our lives escape this fundamental law? So isn't it simply more likely that work is required for things to remain orderly? Because remember what entropy is: decline into disorder. Systems naturally tend toward chaos unless work is done to maintain order. Your life is a system, and so is everything in it. If it's to remain orderly, work needs to be applied. Unless it will simply take its natural course and fall into chaos. One of my favorite insights that Naval Ravikant has ever shared is the concept of locally reversing entropy. You see, we as humans have the ability to locally reverse entropy because we have action, we have agency. We are able to do work to maintain order in the systems that surround us. Imagine that this spiral is the system and that entropy is, roughly speaking, the force that will pull its thread into, naturally, something very chaotic. As it pulls the thread, you won't get another perfect spiral, it will simply be a mess. And this is where human agency comes into action. Because we have the power of making decisions and choices, we can locally reverse entropy. What this means is that, as a whole, entropy keeps increasing. The universe is going towards heat death. Everything will stop existing in a large enough scale. But we, as humans, and in the world that we built, and the society that we have created, have managed for a while to locally reversing entropy. And this brings us to the whole point behind the video. If you view your life as a system, then you have to assume that the law of entropy applies to it. What this means is that if your life, left unchecked into its natural course, it will descend into chaos. And that's not happening because there's something wrong with you or the way you live. It's happening because that's how the universe works. That's how every single system works, and your life is no exception. Now, this isn't meant to turn you into a nihilist and hopeless and just say to yourself that you can do nothing about it. Quite the contrary. Once again, going back to the concept of locally reversing entropy, we as humans have action, we have agency, and through it we can delay entropy. Because our lives will eventually end, but while they are still going, we have the ability and the capability of saying no to entropy, of not letting chaos get inside. And the whole point is that by shifting your perspective from there's something wrong with me, everything is going wrong, to wait a minute, this is just how life is supposed to go, but I can still do something about it. There is nothing necessarily wrong with me, it's just that I'm not putting in enough work for things to remain orderly, to counteract this natural tendency that nature has against all of us. Entropy isn't an evil force. It's not a positive force. It just is what it is. And it doesn't have anything against you. There is nothing trying to work against you. This is simply the law of how everything works. And you can apply this to every single thing in your life. Your relationships, they are meant to require work. And if you don't put in work, they will fall into chaos. The same thing with your job, with your company, with your dreams, with your fitness, with your health. They are all tending towards chaos. And that's just what they're supposed to do. But you can locally and for a while stop that. And so one way of viewing it is that for as long as we are here on Earth, we are just trying to delay entropy. That's the whole point of life. We are locally and in a limited time window saying no to chaos. We are saying that for as long as we live in our very short lives in the context of the whole universe, we will stop entropy for this specific thing in this specific period of time. And maybe that's all there is to it. That can be the whole meaning behind life. That can be your purpose. By embracing entropy and accepting that everything in your life is tending toward chaos, and that's the natural course of things, you can let down a bit of weight from your shoulders. Things aren't going wrong because you are trying to make them wrong. They are going wrong because that's what they're supposed to do. That's what's supposed to happen. And it's only a lack of effort on your part that's preventing this. And that's the key difference. You aren't preventing chaos right now. You are not actively provoking it. And so maybe if we can embrace that entropy is a steady and regular factor, we can perceive that the efforts that we make every single day to stop it from happening aren't an added bonus to our lives. They are a necessary and a required part of every good life. On a final note, if you find that entropy has been taking its toll lately and you just lack overall clarity, we have developed a tool to help you with that. It's named Cardinal, and you can find out more about it with the link that will be in the description. And that's all. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.